Welcome to Nearing Nirvana, bringing you episode 39 of Long Story Short. So, yeah, pretty exciting. Yep.
Nobody would have bet on it, but we're still here, man. We're still fucking here doing what we do. I swore in the first 30 seconds, so we're probably gonna get a strike.
To quote Michael Jackson, no one thought this would last.
And to answer the questions in the audience, yes, we're still allowed to do podcasts together. So, otherwise we wouldn't be doing 39 episodes together, right?
That's right, man.
Yeah. I want to take this time to thank our sponsors, Cover Price. So make sure to use the code Nirvana14 for the 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. Matt DeVoe, we have an open seat for you every single week. Same with you, Stein. And then I want to thank our other sponsors, Bird City Comics. So make sure you're using the code Nirvana for a 15% discount.
We're going to put together a big show, and it's going to be required that Stein and DeVoe are both on. So we're gonna start the ball rolling on that. So you just stay tuned, and we're going to make that happen.
And maybe even include Jen into that mix as well.
Jenna, yeah, I mean, she's a tough one to crack. I mean, she's promised me on several occasions that she's going to be on, so we'll rope them all into one big show.
Oh, see, look, I sent you the link on Instagram on Cover Price. So,
lurking ass. Look,
if you have time to listen, you have time to join. I'm just joking. Yeah, we might have a couple others join us later within the show, so we'll find out. And
that's how we roll. That's how we roll. People just pop in when they're ready.
Right now, it's Three's Company. I get to be Chrissy Snow.
All right, I guess we should give. I think I need to put a branding message at the bottom of the show from now on. Like, warning: do not buy these books on.
Yeah. You need that because I'm sure Ben is out of breath with that disclaimer.
Yeah, I can't keep sending up the warnings. You guys know the deal, right? Not a spec show. Not a list that's going to make you rich. Just a bunch of cool books we like to talk about. So please do not feel compelled to buy any of these. But the funny thing is you guys do, and you always hit me up on IG letting me know that you broke the rules. So anyways, with the show.
Yeah, see, I don't like to break the rules. I don't buy stuff on eBay when we're participating on the panel. Like, I like to go out in the wild and try to like find it like in the back issue bin, dollar box. Like,
that's
sometimes
the point of the show. That's on the hunt, right? During con season, go out looking. They're out there somewhere.
Yeah,
somewhere out there. All right, I'm gonna start with a book I've always been a big fan of. We've talked about David Mack on the show a lot. This is a tough book to get hands on. This is Scarlet #6. This is a David Mack 1 in 15. So 1 in 15 is not a crazy ratio, but by issue 6, these books tend to drop pretty substantially in terms of orders. I couldn't find any recent sales data on this. There's only one in the census, but just I don't know, just a book that I've always really liked the cover of. A lot of these Scarlet books have stunning covers. Most were done by Alex Maleev. But this one is done by David Mack, who is obviously closely linked, but to both Bendis and Maleev. Anybody got this one?
Okay, so a few years ago there was I'm not sure if it was a rumor or not that this series was going to be an HBO show.
It would be a good one, man. I think it would play well.
Yeah, for a time, people were searching for these, including myself. And I'd never seen this cover before, but I was searching for Scarlet, especially the variants. And if I would have seen, and if something like that were in the back issue bins, I would have seen this, and I definitely would have bought it.
I found one about 2 years ago, the only one I've ever come across.
Nice.
I don't think there were any on eBay when I checked, but could have missed it. Somebody said all of Mack's covers look the same. He certainly has a style. I would say that this one doesn't follow the typical blueprint for him, but I understand what you're saying with some of his stuff. He can fall into a bit of a rhythm, if you will, which is the case for a lot of artists. But this one stands out to me quite a bit.
Oh, I could see that it doesn't have its like typical layers of like all kinds of stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, and the different the shapes and images that he has around the periphery.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could kind of see like the start of it, like with that colorful background here, but it doesn't have all those geometrical patterns that like you typically see like in whatever cover he's doing. Like I was thinking of like the Echo covers from the Daredevil run, even like some of this recent stuff, like with the like what Radiant Black and all that. And I've seen some of his original art, and that's how he draws it. He draws it in layers, where it's like you like when you buy a piece from his, it's one layer of that. Like so, you could just get all the geometrical background stuff. You could get the object that's in the foreground, like or the subject that's in the foreground, like the person or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the finger gun on this feels like it's breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Whatever it is, I think it just adds a lot of personality to this cover.
No.
All right.
But I will be on the hunt now for this.
Yeah. One to keep an eye open for. I do have one of these. It took me a while to track it down.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another Scarlet by the man Alex Maleev. One of my all-time favorite artists. His run with Bendis and Daredevil probably ranks amongst, if not my very favorite run in comics. So this is a tough book to get hands on. So if you don't know, this is the 1 in 50. The one, the cover A, the open order was the same cover, but she had bags over her hands, so you couldn't see her flipping the bird. This is a sought-after book. We saw a 9.6 sell recently for $209 earlier this year. Only 11 copies on the census in total, 3 of which were 9.8. Just a classic Alex Maleev cover.
Yeah, this is the one that was on my radar when I was searching for those Scarlet back issues. But this is one I definitely never came across.
I mean, there are a lot of books we could have talked about in this run. There's some high ratio books all the way through by other artists as well. Deodato has a pretty cool one, but just touched on 2 tonight. I don't think we've talked about many Scarlet books on this show, if any. Just a book I like. I don't have this one, but I've been on the hunt for it for a long time.
I'm surprised on the low census count, especially since. Like Carter said, like that it was optioned at one point in time. You would think like the census numbers would be pumped up.
I mean, 1 in 50 for an issue 4 for an icon. I mean, I don't think a lot of stores were reaching for 50 copies of this, to be honest with you. So
that's probably true. And like also like when this was released, this probably wasn't the same kind of market it was as when there was a giant like spec market on option properties.
100%, yeah. Hadn't reached that fever pitch yet.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep the show going. All right, talking about Alex Maleev, and I met him, and I think he told me his was pronounced Alex Maleev. Everybody pronounces it Maleev, but I could also be forgetting that incorrectly. That was like a long, long time ago. I bought a piece of original art for him. Regardless, I always thought this was a cool book. Now, I will say, this is really cool. Now, Cap's shield is way oversized. I mean, look at the size of that shield relative to his head. It is like, 3 times the size of his normal shield. That said, if we can put that aside, this is a cool-looking book. I love Daredevil. He's my favorite character. This is a cool 1 in 20 that is not easy to find. We saw a 9.8 sell last year for a bargain price of $51, which is kind of bananas. 9 copies on the census, 3 and 9.8. Could have talked about a lot of his books, but Yeah, this is one that I've always liked.
I've never seen this. Literally never seen this cover before. Didn't even know it existed.
Well,
It's
if Carter
interesting.
hasn't seen it, then you damn well know it's a tough book.
How often do you look through the Daredevil section too? Just out of curiosity.
Not often. You know what? Again, there was a time where I was searching for a lot of Daredevil, and this something like this never popped up.
Okay.
It's not an easy book. I mean, he's got a few of these ratio Daredevils from after he was done with his run with Bendis that are tougher books. That we talked about it before, but that AF-15 homage is another absolute ghost that he's done. Yeah, this is just really cool. I've always wanted it, even with the oversized shield.
Cap and Daredevil, they look cozy behind that shield.
Yeah, man, it's nice and warm behind that shield. The bullets can't get them. They're all, they don't need to go anywhere.
They borrow some of Wolverine's claws to make the shield bigger, right? But I mean, one thing that we always have to remember too is what Order's cut in half. Like once it hits issue 2, on average, right? On most
And then Daredevil had been relaunched a couple of times by this point already, so people were kind of fatigued to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, Carter. This one is all you, man. Do you want to go with this one?
It's weird because all right, so this is Back to the Future #1, and this is okay. So I talked about this book in my haul video, and IDW, they were doing these types of variants where it's just kind of like a raw pencil cover. If you look at old covers from, say, the 50s, and I guess you can say, damn it, original art, the original pencils from the covers from the 50s, they looked like this, where everything was, where the font for the type was cut out and placed very neatly and all that kind of stuff. That's how that used to look, and they tried to capture that feeling with a lot of their variant covers. I'm butchering how I was supposed to describe it, but hopefully you get the gist of what I'm saying. But that's those variants from IDW from this time period. They were meant to look like that. That was a lot of words for a whole lot of nothing. Excuse, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You should have just been like, this great Back to the Future cover with a Darth Vader featured in the middle of it.
Listen, I want to be concise, but damn it, I trip over my own words. But that's okay.
What I'm surprised with this book is 103 on the census. You never see it. You never see this thing. People they graded this and they're just sitting on those. What else I thought was surprising is 64 of the 103 are signed, which is a crazy high percentage.
Well, people take these Back to the Future books and get them 5 times signed by every single cast member that was in Back to the Future, right? I mean, a lot of those celebrities are showing up to the different conventions, and then buy a package deal, get all those signatures knocked out at once. CGC witness right there, right?
Yeah, man, it's brilliant.
Yeah, these variants really don't go for too much. Okay, so the only other variants that I have in that style is an X-Files book from IDW and a Ghostbusters from IDW, and I don't think they really go for too much. And I think this book here might be a $10 book.
Well, do you think it falls under the category because it's a black and white sketch cover that, a lot of collectors kind of tend to just kind of pass them up?
It is. I mean, the art, I don't think there's a color version of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's new art, so
Yeah.
it's I can't imagine. Maybe collectors just don't know about them because it is IDW, but
I mean, there are a gazillion versions of #1 for this issue as well. I mean, there's a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, especially in being a lower ratio variant out of that, I'm sure people are chasing after those higher ratios, and then they have multiple copies of these. And then collectors that I feel like collectors that go after Back to the Future stuff, they don't really tend to flip their stuff, right? It's almost like the whole
they're collectors. They're buying it and they're sitting on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Star Wars collectors, right? Like where once they get it in their collection, it never sees the light of day again.
Yep, that is it.
Yeah,
but I like this cover.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna add on, like I love seeing when comic companies take their original art, right, and then frame it into a comic book cover. And because I know Image was doing that for a while too with some of the Spawn Run stuff. So you always see like a handful of companies, I guess, kind of doing like a throwback of, hey, look under the hood for what we do work on off of in the industry to end up with whatever cover.
So they're doing a mock throwback original art cover.
Right.
I should have just said that.
All right. All right. Anybody who used to watch the old shows on Flipside knows my feelings about these Prelude books by Marvel. I'm a huge fan, and they were wildly underordered. These books, wildly underordered. This is a Captain America: The First Avenger. This is a Chris Evans photo cover, obviously. There are 23 on the census, only 2 in 9.8. And here's the deal with these things in 9.8. One, the black cover doesn't make it easy. Two, stores didn't take these books seriously when they came out. So they basically stuck them in back issue bins almost immediately. You find these things, but they're beat to shit most of the time. Of the 23, only 2 are in the blue label. And this book had less than 7,000 copies ordered. Now, I just picked this one out of the blue because I thought it was cool, but there are countless of these Prelude books that are really cool. And I think as time passes and sort of the nostalgia grows for that original MCU, those first 3 phases, I can see these books being more and more desired. And just ones that I always look for when I'm out digging, but you rarely ever find 9.8 candidates in these books just because, they're unbagged, unboard, stuck in back issue bins. Nobody gave a shit about them.
Yeah, every time I see books like those, they're literally all ticked up along the spine at best.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. They're very difficult and high grade, but I've always had a feeling that these books over time would just become more and more sought after. But we'll see. We'll see what plays out. But 2 and 9.8 out of 23, less than 10% for a modern book. You don't generally see that. So we'll see. We will see. But I am a fan.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep the show rolling. As I was looking for that book, I came across this book, and I've never seen this book before in my entire life.
What?
This is Captain America: The Fighting Avenger #1. Guru Hiru did the cover for this cover A, which is an artist that has a pretty good following. There are only 12,500 copies of this ordered, and there were 2 different covers. Now, cover A was probably ordered, higher than the cover B. The cover B I looked at wasn't that cool. This book's out there for $5 or so like it's not like a big spec book or super tough to find, but I've been collecting comics for a long time and I just never remember seeing this thing.
Yeah, me neither.
It almost has like that almost like anime style, like it's a good crossover between like anime and
100%.
The American style of illustration.
Yeah, it's like if Captain America were doing like an animated adventure, like this would be the art design for it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, if this was an animated show, it looked badass.
Do you happen to know what year this is? Came out?
I don't.
You see the date. You see the ad for Thor in the corner.
Yeah. There it is. 2011. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing is pretty old, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, I only came across this because I was looking up something on another book. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And just
I wish that were a variant for something.
If this was a variant, I mean, if this was like a ratio, like this could be a big book, right? This could be. But listen, 12,500. You know, I don't think any of these have been graded. I looked. I couldn't find any evidence that there are any graded copies of this at all. So I don't know. Maybe there's an opportunity there.
And I'm kind of surprised IDW with all their Marvel when they had Marvel property stuff, they didn't use this for like.
What's up, brother?
For that.
What up, fellas?
Long time no see, man. How have you been?
I'm good, man. You say long time no see, but we talk every day. So, but I guess it's actually long time no see because it's been a while since I've been on the show where you can physically see.
Right, exactly. That's what I meant.
Hey, real quick, Andre, have you ever seen this book before? We're talking. I came across this. I'd never even seen this thing. I knew it existed before.
No, but see now. Oh, see, I was just looking at Guri Hero cover, but see, this cover didn't come up when I was searching. That's interesting. But now it's one that I'll go back and look for tomorrow and see.
So you were actually doing a list of Guri Hero covers.
Y'all remember like a month or two ago, I posted all of them books in there. Yeah, this one didn't come up on there.
Damn. All right.
But I could have just been slipping, you know. I
don't. And then we have a couple panelists in the audience as well. Rob is saying, as a Captain America fan, a lot of collectors don't care about Cap covers.
A lot of Cap collectors, or just collectors in general? Because if the Cap collectors don't care about Cap covers, then man, we're in trouble. We are in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I do kind of feel that way. That the Cap books always get skipped over. Like
there's so many of them. Is the thing. I mean,
it's is it almost becoming like the Superman aspect of like collecting DC books? You know what I mean? There's so many
heading in that direction. I mean, when I go through the miscellaneous Cap books, a lot of these stores, I mean, it's just like book after book after book after book.
I tend to only look for a handful of Cap books anyway. I mean, because I'm not a huge Cap collector, right? Like, there's only a handful off the list that I'm looking for.
Copper Age Cap. I can't think of anything.
It's mainly just like random variants, just for like PC purposes.
Yeah. And it's got to be like a major first appearance. It's like you gotta care to make me care.
Ooh, right. Liger is saying the B covers ain't that bad. So
yeah, it wasn't bad. It didn't blow me away, but so many slides for the show we can squeeze in. Maybe next week.
No.
All right, Domino Hotshots. I liked the series. Like there were some characters in this series that I liked. You know, Outlaw, but this is a Campbell 1 in 50. 115 on the census, only 10 and 9.8, which really surprised me. Figured this book would grade better. The other thing, a 1 in 50 on 35,000 copies is also not a super high ordered book, right? A lot of stores weren't hitting that 50 number. Most of them, frankly, weren't hitting that 50 number. And a bunch of these are signed, which makes me think that Campbell may have had these in his store. I don't remember if he did, but 45 that are signed strikes me as that may have been the case. I just wonder if the Campbell fans, I know all you guys who watch the show like to see some Campbell, so I didn't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
Ooh, James Kreider has this, and he didn't know it was a 1 in 50.
Well, James, there you go, man, and I'm not surprised that you have it at all.
No. I wonder if Joe has this. This is a real question for me.
Oh,
yeah, we'll have to ask him.
We'll ask him next time.
Yeah. But I remember when this title came out because they had really good timing on when this was released because it was like right after Deadpool 2 when Domino was featured in that. But I guess like once that movie passed, like people did not care about Deadpool like covers at all. Like I started picking up books like when people were like a month or two afterwards because I was getting them cheap and I was like kind of like I'm not gonna miss this opportunity again. But yeah, and the series had come out like not too long, either before or after. So I can't remember now. It's kind of blurry.
Yeah, this series was kind of fun. I mean, it didn't last very long. It was 5 issues, I think, in this thing. But
yeah, I like this miniseries, kind of like that when they do that.
Yeah, I liked the group of characters. But yeah, anyways, one for the Campbell fans. So let's keep the show rolling. All right, nothing crazy about this book, but we've been talking about Sienkiewicz a lot on the show lately. This is Fight Club number 9 by the man, and just a cool book. I wouldn't say it's hard to find, but I also wouldn't say it's particularly easy to find. You know, Fight Club 2 wasn't getting huge orders from Dark Horse, and when you split those between cover A and cover B, you know, these are definitely worth grabbing if you see them.
Yeah, this is one of the first series that I was reading when I was getting back into comics again. Like there was a shop in my area. I hadn't had a pull box in years and years and years, and I was like, sign me up for Fight Club 2 because I was heavy into reading books. Didn't own a TV at the time period. Wasn't watching TV. Read Fight Club 1,000 times, and then when I found out Fight Club 2 was going to be a thing, I was like, that's really exciting to continue off of the book and Chuck Palahniuk writing it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was obsessed with Chuck Palahniuk for a portion of my life. I loved Fight Club. I read most of his books. I mean, they're so fucking twisted, every single one of them. But yeah, I was a big fan of his. And this series never seemed to really hit. I mean, I think it did okay. I think it came out of the gate all right, but then started to fade like most do. But
there was a follow-up series to this as well. There's a Fight Club
3. Yeah. Do I have a Fight Club 3 book on the show tonight? I looked at some. I don't know if I put one on or not, but I definitely looked at a couple of cool books in that series.
But I'll definitely run into these books like every once in a while in like resale shops like Half Price Books, Second and Charles, that kind of those kind of
places. As I was about to say, man, this is a Half Price Books. A Half Price Books book right there, yeah.
Easily all day, like that's an easy find there. I mean, not that.
Well, it probably won't be easy, but if you find it, it's probably gonna be at a place like Half Price Books where condition is gonna be a coin toss.
Yeah, but they did really good on the production of this book. Like they were using that thicker cardstock for the covers, and it was like glossy.
Yeah, it was a higher gloss on this. Yeah. Yeah, this ticks a lot of boxes. I mean, Sienkiewicz, who seems, you know, he definitely has a following, you know, a pretty girl smoking a cigarette. I mean, there's things on here that people basically would buy. So, all right. What else do we have? All right, this is Tony's recommendation. Tony is in the chat. Tony, listen, if we butcher this or we miss some points, just let us know. This is Birth Movies Death Magazine. This was a Tim Burton commemorative edition. These things were selling for like $7. So it's a full-size magazine. It has a lot of art from his different movies and TV shows inside. But you know, Tim Burton is an American treasure. I mean, he's recently you know, come back strong with his Wednesday TV show. And just a creator that people seem to absolutely love. And I hadn't seen this before, but Tony suggested we throw this one on the show tonight, and here it is. There's some really cool interior art that we didn't include that shows some examples of some of his designs for his movie stuff. But
really great sketch of the Batmobile in there.
Yeah, very cool sketch.
I definitely remember when Tim Burton was doing he was doing art exhibits like taking over whatever museum and then just having a special exhibit for a time period where it's like you're walking into a set of his movie, and then like it's like designed like a set like that, but then it's showcasing all his art over the time period. So
yeah, I mean, he if there's a film creator that has a distinct style, it is Tim Burton for sure.
all right, Tony is saying these editions were pretty limited, but they didn't announce print runs.
Yeah, I mean, I looked around, like, Midtown was selling this. Obviously, there's none left. This was available out there, but seemed pretty scarce from what I could see.
And then he's saying, and all these Mondo mags are pretty cheap. That's some good knowledge to know.
Yeah, magazines, I continue to keep an eye on magazines more and more. I think they're probably slept on by a lot of collectors, but yeah, I always go look. Usually disappointed with the selection most shops have, but every once in a while you can pull something pretty cool for sure.
Well, especially with both grading companies ramping up on grading magazines, like, I mean, this might be like the equalizer, right, for CBCS and CGC to like kind of close the gap, but we'll see what the market says.
If they wanted to, if they really put in the effort, they could take over the market. I'm telling you right now, CGC, given what they're going to have to do to satisfy their private equity investors, they're going to just blow up their grading business. They're going to be more into signings and all this other nonsense. I mean, if they survive, I will be shocked. But I don't know. We'll see. If CBCS just put in a valiant effort, there's a handful of little things they could do to really attract people.
New label. What Mel used to always say: change the label, change the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a simple thing. I mean, that's a simple thing, right? I mean, people hate their labels. I mean, they could fix that overnight if they wanted to, right? I mean,
they've done it before in the past, so I don't see what.
I mean, just their old label was bad. The new one, it's not bad, but it's just so it's
could be better, man.
Sterile. It's too sterile. They just need to tweak it a little bit more, and then the cases are good. The cases used to be, ugly, but they look good.
Well, and they
just coming in aggressively priced. I mean, take market share by just coming in. Break even. Like, make no money on this for a little while. Just break even on this stuff and take market share for a period of time. And it won't take long to turn the tables. I'm telling you, but I don't know. I think once you're running a business, it's a lot harder to make those drastic changes. But there's definitely things they could do.
To me, it's the typography they're using on the label. It's not good text. It's like okay, let's just throw on Arial onto it and call it a day, or whatever my computer's defaulting to. Like that's the text we're going to. No change.
At least they're not using Comic Sans. I mean, that would really make it.
Comic Sans bold or something like that.
Yeah.
But they also, I feel like when they was starting to gain a little traction, I think they started taking in too many big loads from resellers, and they should have pushed back on some of that, and maybe put a limit on how. I understand you don't want to turn the money away, but you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face either,
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to staff. I mean, if they're going to make a growth effort, they're going to have to staff up ahead of time, right? Really, really, come out of the gates swinging, and it can't just be half measures. I mean, I would think they would just really need to make a push. But
here's a graphic artist that knows that hey, the font's not good, so and I would trust his eye over a lot of people. So shout out to Eric.
I mean, there are people like that out there, like Eric, who will just, probably give you free advice on that kind of stuff. It doesn't. I don't know. It just feels like.
I bet you he could mock up a CBCS label within a day or two or a week. I'll give him a week, and then it'd be better than anything that CBCS has done.
Eric could do it in like 30 minutes.
I was gonna say a day, but no, but I'll give him a week. I'll give him a week, and he's gonna throw up something on the Instagram next. before we know it. But anyways,
See, I said they should have did black and gold to match the Beckett.
oh yeah,
I mean, just
That would have
something. I
been
mean,
different.
take some risks. I don't know. Anyways,
they should
like
have
I
just
said,
changed their when Beckett bought them. They should just changed their name to Beckett, and
Mhm.
then just gotten under that branding company, and then all the people that were into cards that got into comics, it would have been a smooth transition for them. You know what I mean? Like knock out two birds with one stone. But yeah.
All right, back to the show. All right, I'm not sure this book was ever made, so I just want to start with that. This book was solicited when P-Plan came out, and you know that I like these hard case crime books by Titan. This was the solicit. Tom Coker did the cover on this one. I've never seen an actual copy of this book anywhere. So I don't know. Maybe it got shot down. I don't know what the hell happened with this thing, but I'm not sure this book actually exists in the flesh. Excuse the pun. Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there. If anybody knows about this book or has actually seen one, please let me know. A lot of these P-Plan books had a lot of cool art. I mean, Titan has some really stunning art. And if you look at the art that they do just for like their novels, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's painted. It's really cool looking. But yeah, this one I don't know. I don't know if this book actually exists.
And then for all the magazine collectors, Titan does the Star Wars Insiders. So
That is
I would
correct.
I would keep your eyes out for that.
Jean Grey, what happened to you? This is Jean's night on the town tonight. She's just
She got turned out.
All right. This was a submission from a viewer, Eamon Tony Smokes on Instagram. Big member of the community, big collector. Throwing out an absolute ghost. Doc Stalkers number 6. This is a Scotty Young cover B. You can't find this thing. This is true ghost. This book's nowhere to be found. I couldn't find any census data on this thing. Just really, really difficult.
I've never seen this before.
Would it count as a homage? I was thinking like New Avengers 27.
I think this may have been.
Yeah, this might
predate
precede
that.
that.
Oh,
book. Yeah.
predate that? Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know where I'm gonna go. A couple of places I'm gonna go and look for this tomorrow.
Yeah, cool book. Scotty Young definitely has a following, and his tougher books, people are willing to pay big bucks for. But yeah, this one is not easy to get hands on.
Yeah. And I want to say the girls, the comic book women, they did a Scotty Young spotlight on him.
Yeah, a little while ago, right?
Yeah, so I would definitely check out that episode if you're to learn deep dive into Scotty. You know, like learning about his 2 different styles that he's known for. So yeah.
All right. All right, so this is another book that's really fucking tough to find. Winter Soldier number 15, Nick Klein. This is a 1 in 50. So dropping a 1 in 50 on issue 15 is not, standard practice. 1 copy on the census in 9.8. 22,000 copies ordered, which is nothing for our 1 in 50. Keep in mind there are about 2,000 stores ordering. So you're talking about very low numbers here, 10 to 15 books per store on average. People getting to 50 on this thing. This is not necessarily the most beautiful cover ever created, but one that I think you'd be hard pressed to find. You ever have any luck finding this one, Carter?
I didn't know it existed.
It's a precursor to the design variants.
Yeah, I've never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, so Winter Soldier at this point in the run started dropping. It's not. We could have talked about more. they started dropping ratios late in the run like this. 1 in 50, I think it went to 1 in 25. There may have been a 1 in 20 and like a 1 in 15, maybe, like issue after issue. Maybe to, you know, I think Marvel does that to encourage stores to up their orders, but yeah, this one's a ghost.
I like how there's like a little whip around line.
They just turned
it's to indicate that he turned around. How cute.
Who's there? All right. I don't know if we ever talked about this book before or not. I've posted about this. It's just a beautiful piece of art. Period. This was a special edition. I believe these were just giveaways. But this is Libra Mayho who did this cover. It's really stunning, particularly if you see it in person. What surprised me about this and why I ended up including it on the show was there's only 5 on the census for this thing, which seems like an opportunity. If you have one of these in high grade, I find these things digging regularly, but they're all kicked to shit. I mean, you know, they're basically all black and they weren't looked after. Now there are 498s, which isn't bad. But I think you might be hard pressed to find one now, and that's raw. But yeah, just a cover that I've always really enjoyed. James, I know you've got this, man. You've posted about this, at least on one occasion, if not more. But yeah, this is really thin. It's like a preview. There's not like this is probably best case 16 pages, probably less than that.
He meant to say had one, but it was stamped by a store.
Yeah. Where are you stamping this book? On the back, maybe there's a spot to stamp it. She's already got some stamps on her, so I don't know.
So is this taken after the Swedish version or the American version? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, just a cool Bermejo cover.
Yeah,
but I do find these in dollar bins. But like I said, they're 7.0s at best, most of them. So
probably from the book being so thin too.
Yeah, that does not help the situation. Yeah. All right. As I was looking up for that, I came across this. Listen, this book is just a cover A. So there's nothing really super hard to find. It was a $6 buy-in, so I don't think stores were stocking the shelves heavy on these. But it's just a beautiful cover. That was all. Just liked it.
I liked it too, and that's why I made it part of the thumbnail.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a dope cover for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were thick. These Girl with the Dragon Tattoo books. They made cover A's and B's of these. This is the A, but these were probably 64 pages, maybe. These were thick books. These.
Oh wow! So it's almost like graphic novel size, or like this.
Yeah,
like,
maybe it was 32. Maybe it was 32, but they were definitely thick books.
Yeah. Where it's almost to that point. Do we make this a prestige format book or not?
Yeah. I mean, they definitely could have, but
no.
All right. So, was this Tony's? I think this was Tony's suggestion for tonight. So, all new Wolverine number 20. This is a beloved book, it seems. Leonard Kirk. This is just a 1 in 10. A 9.8 sold just recently for $250, which is very respectable for a 1 in 10. 47 on the census, 32 and 9.8. And for all of the X23 fans out there. Hey, we got a real quick. We got a super chat from Cueva Comics. Thanks, brother. We always appreciate the support and all the friendship. And thank you so much. That is not necessary, but definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I will play something at the end of the show so it doesn't interrupt the flow. I'm gonna start doing that, playing something at the beginning and at the end for super chats.
Makes sense. Yeah, this is just a cool book.
Yeah, I think what Tony was saying was that he definitely fell in love again with the whole Laura, Gabby, and Jonathan stories for the all new Wolverine series. So makes kind of sense. So I know my brother was really heavy into the storyline.
Yeah, so this is the 1 in 10, but there's an amazing, if we go to the next slide, 1 in 25 as well, which is beautiful in its own right. I mean, maybe not as heartfelt, but yellow covers always hit, it seems. So this is a Helen Chen 1 in 25. There are only 14 of these on the census. 14.
Oh yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, I thought so too, man. The last sale we saw this was back in 2021. This is when the market was really softening. So for 200, which seems like a pretty good deal. But I've never seen this one. I've never seen this one, and I kind of want it bad.
I want to say I think I've seen it once at a 50% off sale, and then I kind of just like glanced through the all new Wolverine section, and then I passed on it, and then I couldn't find anything. I was like kind of just searching around. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back there, but then the employee was helping them find specifically all new Wolverine or X-23 books. And I think he ended up grabbing the book, and it was like someone relatively new into comics. And I was like, I knew I shouldn't have passed on that.
You have any luck with this one, Carter?
No, I wasn't. I was never looking for it. I remember looking for the other one, but not necessarily this one.
Yeah, I've just never come across it ever.
That's pretty impressive too, though. 14 out of 14, 9/8 on the census.
Yeah, I mean, it must hold up well. But only 14, I mean, that is damn low, right? If you think about the number of the 1 in 10 and only 14 of this, I mean, that's pretty damn scarce, right? 47 of 14.
That's quite a drop.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
All right, was this the last book? I can't. Oh, okay, we got more in there. I can't remember what.
We have like after this one, we have 3 more.
Oh, okay, cool. Black Widow number 2 from 2014. For some context, this was the series that Phil Noto was doing all the stunning covers for. This is a Frank Cho 1 in 50. Not necessarily what comes to mind when you think of Frank Cho, but I thought this book was really cool. Only 17 in the census, 12 and 9.8. We saw a sale for $75 in September 2020, but a book you don't see that often. I don't even know if there are any copies on eBay currently of this.
Gosh, I remember trying to search for this way back when, and never finding it.
I should have pulled the numbers, but I think the orders dropped off hard for this Black Widow book after issue number 1.
This is a badass cover, man. This is tough.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, just the Angel of Death with the halo, Black Widow in the middle. It's not one that you see show up very often or hear people talking about that much.
I like the background. I like the guns in the air. There's something about Black Widow's face that kind of throws me off on this. It's the only complaint I have about this cover.
Yeah, she doesn't look mean enough, maybe? I don't know. I guess I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Check out Frank Cho's Lady Death cover. Matches very well. All
right, well, add it to the show. And Matt, you can talk us through it next week. So we'll make sure we just get that one.
Put that one on the books for the Matt and Sign show, right? We'll change the title of the show too, right?
You want to talk? Who threw this one on there? Was this yours, Aaron?
No, I want to say It was Hunter.
Josh.
Oh yeah, I was put this
Oh,
on
is it
there,
you?
but Josh, I saw it. Well, Josh didn't.
Yeah.
He alluded to the cover in a chat that we're in, and I just happened to see it in the Facebook group, and I was like, oh, you know, I thought it was from The Office. So I was like, oh, this is gonna hit. Then Aaron, of course, corrected me today and said it's from Always Sunny, which that's a very popular TV show as well. But it just made for a great cover. Even if you take the homage, put that to the side, it still makes for a pretty cool cover. And Sonic covers, they do really well on the secondary market, especially those harder to find ones.
And
Issue
Sonic in general is
64.
tough to find, man. My son read Sonic, and they are not easy books to find anywhere.
Yeah, but we also wanted to point out that this book doesn't come out until August of 2023, and any fans of It's Always Sunny, it's the Pepe Sylvia cover.
I mean that's become like a legendary meme, right?
It's used for anything, right? Like explanations of whatever subject, and then
any conspiracy or anything, any entangled, and
then it's Charlie doing his whole spiel on Pepe Sylvia. Can we talk?
We don't do a lot of FLC on the show. This is probably the first one, so take note. But this was cool. I didn't realize it wasn't out when I went looking for this thing. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I can't.
I typed the issue number in, and I was kind of oh, so only issue 58 is coming out sometime soon or something like that, or just came out. Yeah. And then we had a question real quick from the audience. Benny Blanco is asking, you guys going to any upcoming comic shows? If so, which ones?
I'm gonna go to Terrificon in Connecticut at Mohegan Sun. I think it's called Terrificon. If anybody's going to be there, say hi. I'm going to go check it out.
I'm going to try to make it to Dallas Fan Expo. I think it's the next show.
Yeah, obviously Dallas Fan Expo for me. Maybe San Diego Comic Con, and
I'm a maybe as well on San Diego.
If I could get a ticket, I'd be there in a fucking second. I've always wanted to go to San.
See, someone told me to show up and don't even go to the show floor. Just go to all the after parties and hang out with everyone we know. And then if you really want to get in, I feel like we know enough people that we could borrow someone's pass to get in for a few hours or even a day or whatever.
Yeah, you can do that. Well, there's other ways to get passes.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah.
It's always finding the place to stay. I think that's the biggest issue for San Diego.
No, last year when I went, I got a place the day of.
Oh wow!
Sometimes I know Big Leg told me that he booked one of the hotels. It's literally right across the street from the convention center, day of, and he got it for a better rate than what it had previously been going for.
Well, because they know they can mark up the price for people planning out a year in advance or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but people cancel hotels at last second. So
that as well too, right?
Yep.
Ooh, anyone going to Fan Expo Philly?
I might go to Fan Expo Boston, but it's so fucking terrible for digging. Every year I go to Fan Expo Boston, I'm like, why am I going here? And I only go because I can walk from my office. And I tell myself I'm not doing it, and then 4:00 hits and I got nothing to do, and I walk down, I pay the $60, and I just get pissed off. So
I know.
I don't have that many followers yet where I can just walk into you just walk into a place like you belong there. I mean, I usually do that anyways, wherever I'm going. That's how I snuck early into Baltimore Comic-Con when we were all meeting up there. I didn't have a pre-show pass, but I was definitely hanging out pre-show before everyone got in, before the general public got in.
I'm sure they're just waving you right in there, and you walk in. It's just come
well,
right in. Don't worry.
I just kind of walked in like I belonged there, and I knew where the booth was, and then I met up with a group of people that everyone knew who I was, and then we just started walking as a group, and so I didn't leave a group. So they didn't, when you're walking in a group of people, like they don't really stop you, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're blending in, and you and don't like everywhere.
It's too much work to stop you. Just they don't want to do it. Like they just like.
Yeah. It's too much of a hassle, right?
All right. Generation Hope number 13. This was also you, Hunter. Correct?
Yeah, it was, man. Just a book that I got like one copy of, but I collect Hope Summer stuff, but I just don't see this one, that often. And as you can see, last 9/8 sale was all the way back in 2014, bro.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I mean, there's only 2 on the census, so whoever bought it is sitting on it. But that was a decade ago at this point, for crying out loud. So
yeah, that's crazy. It is one on eBay. It's a part of a lot, but pictures ain't that good on it. So to me, that's like the picture's not that good, but some of the other books you can see that they in pretty rough condition. So to me, that was like that's like one of those things like, man, that book is probably beat up too. So, you just don't see this book, and I make it a point now to look for it when I go to comic shops, and I'm not seeing it, either. And I mean, this is issue 13, so this is only 2 more issues in the series after this. Even the 1 in 15, man, it's hard to believe that a lot of shops was ordering heavy on Generation Hope this late in the run. And then they didn't even do incentives for the last 2 covers. I think they just stuck a fork in and then moved on.
Yeah, I mean the 15. I find that when Marvel does the 15s, it's for series that are dying, and they're just trying to encourage a few more purchases for the stores. And they're finding basically most stores are under that 15 mark, and can we entice them just to buy a couple more? So whenever I see the 1 in 15s, I gobble them up. I like them a lot.
I remember when everyone was getting, like, when the announcement of Cable was going to be on Deadpool, everyone was like, is Hope going to show up in this? Like, that whole excitement. So, I mean, it's a character that, they could.
Yeah, it's too early for.
Yeah.
It's too early for that, in my opinion. But I think Hope is still a good long-term hold.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens once they start building out the X-Men universe? But
I mean, they're going to take it in. They have to take it in different directions than they did for the Fox X-Men stuff. So, they're going to get into characters, I think, that we haven't seen before, just to keep it fresh. So,
or even plant the seeds during Deadpool 3.
Yeah,
kind of situation, we could end up with an Adam Warlock situation, like where you just get hints of Hope existing in the MCU.
That would be cool. All right, I just wanted to throw this one out here. This was done by Bird City Comics, and there were a lot of World Tree #1 variants done, like a lot.
I heard the count was like 32.
Okay, I was going to guess a lot more than that, but whatever it was a big number. And I'm not just saying this because of their sponsor of the show. I think this one is just really well done. I enjoyed the book quite a bit. I thought it was pretty badass. Mm-hmm. But this is Anna Marcano. This is her exclusive. She's blowing up a little bit. Her stuff is starting to get really sought after. This was limited to 500 copies, and the printing on this came out really dark. I don't think Laura and Ant were thrilled. You can't see this kind of detail on the actual copy. That said, this is just a really cool book. Just wanted to put it on here. They just got mailed out last week, and I think they sold out of these pretty quickly, if I'm not mistaken.
I definitely enjoyed the read and everything, and this is a very tasteful cover compared to like some of the other ones that were just like, I don't know, kind of obscure out there.
I'll be seeing Nip on the covers.
Well, dude, in the book, spoiler alert. So, spoiler, like she wears these overalls, and then when she goes to kill, she just strips down to nothing and goes in like
Yeah.
So yeah, I have they didn't get too deep into the character, but we'll see.
But she was introduced into it. I don't think she was named either. Huh?
So DeVoe says there's 46 covers for World Tree 33,
Oh, wow.
including 3 error
46.
covers. So yeah, there's a lot, whatever it was. And there were some cool ones. I just thought this one was well done.
So it's basically about this serial killer. Just
it's like they have something called the underweb, the undernet,
Internet.
the undernet, right? The internet, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's only the first issue, so there's not too much going on.
Right.
He basically shows up and fucks some shit up. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a group of kids that invented this like in the early stages of the internet, but because like not everyone's interconnected to it, it wasn't ready, and then someone that owns a giant tech company or whatever, they launch it off again, and she goes out and like, I don't want to spoil it, I guess. I shouldn't go too much deeper, but she goes and kills someone, but you got to find out where and why.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I'm curious to see where this one goes, but
right, I'm going to give it a few more issues to see if I'm going to continue reading it or not. To me, that's just me personally. I mean, and I'm a huge Tynion fan, so everyone knows that, but I'm not going to go heavy into the series like I did on some of the others.
I mean, these books are being ordered pretty heavily, but yeah,
right. And they're doing a lot of homage covers to some of his other work too, which is kind of like, I don't know. To me, that's like,
it's too easy.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel kind of situation.
It's too easy. Too easy. Too damn easy. I agree.
Yeah.
But
all
right, I think
you gotta get those 1 in 100s, right?
Yeah, the 1 in 100s on these I would not go crazy on, because I mean everybody seems to probably have one of them, but
right.
The Frisman 1 in 10 was really well done, but it's got to be as common as the cover A at this point, I would think. But
is that the error or is that the normal?
did they do it? Was there an error for the Frisman? Oh,
no, for the first one, it was there was an error for
the dark
cover A, and then I forgot it was one of the incentive covers. I want to say like the 1 in 25, maybe. I can't remember. I'm sure DeVoe will chime in to correct us.
I mean, I guess it was the paper on these cover. I don't have my cover of this here, but the paper was just absorbed the ink, too well, and that's why they came out so dark, is my understanding. But
oh wow, the Comic Corner Club has a cover that was limited to 50 copies.
Nice.
Crazy.
Which one was that? I want to say. Anyways, that I believe that's the last one. That is the show for tonight. So, listen, for all of you guys who tune in and watch the show on a regular basis, I don't know what's wrong with you, but thank you. We appreciate the support, and we have a fun time doing this. And thank you all for watching. We got a great group, people who follow the show, and as always, if there's books that you want us to talk about, hit me up. Just if you hit me up too early, I just end up forgetting about it. So hit me up later in the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and I promise I'll get it on the show if it makes sense for what we're talking about. But thank you.
Yep, and I want to shout out to all of our other shows. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the Nearing Nerdvana show. I believe they have a special guest. I don't want to mention their name unless some things change. So tune in tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed and check it out. Saturday we have Saturday Morning Toy Box, and then back on Monday we have Cover Lovers. Tuesday is Comic Book Women. Wednesday is Mondo Mail Call, and then you're back here with us on Thursdays. But Team Nerd Herd drops content on almost any day of the week, So that's why you want to make sure you're subscribed up and you hit that bell for the notifications so you don't miss any of the great content on this channel. And we want to thank our sponsors again. Matt DeVoe for being in the chat, for helping us like with some of the research stuff. So make sure you're using the code Nerdvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And you can use the code Nerdvana over at our other sponsors' website, Bird City Comics, and make sure you're signed up for this for the text line so you don't miss great covers like the World Trade #1 that was limited to 500. And I believe that's it for us. Does anyone have any other shows that they're going to be on this week, or any other things?
Don't forget about Drunken Chat tomorrow. We got the sale with me, Mel, Josh, Phil. Saturday.
How can we help you, Sale?
Yeah, how may we help you?
How may we help you?
Yeah, so we got that, and we added a couple of new sellers to kind of widen the variety some. So
if you haven't checked that out, check it out. Check that show out. Just don't have a couple drinks beforehand, because it's me dropping a lot of money. So.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get a new consignment soon. So I'll probably make Ben come through and drop a couple of stacks for me, man. But yeah, go ahead. I would say, man, that's all I got till I get shows running back on my channel. But that's nice. All I got here. Drunken Chat. That'll pretty much be it for me.
Quava saying that's a dangerous show.
Indeed it is.
And then Mercenot, how was digging earlier today? Because I know you hit up a cell before this. Do you have a haul video coming up?
There should be a haul. I did a haul video over the weekend. So that's up and running right now. And I have a first preview appearance that might be worth looking at. And I should have another haul video, dollar books and all that good stuff coming up next weekend.
Nice. And then I will be on It's Drunken Chat tomorrow, and then on Saturday I will be on Modern Comic Mayhem for Beyond Wednesdays, so that should be a lot of fun. And then we have another question before we head out. Has Burstnot completed the quest to be the Supreme Thought Master?
I'm on my way.
Maybe
just you wait. Just you wait.
Alrighty. Y'all have a safe weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.